This is the High School Football America 2-Minute Drill Podcast for July 20th, 2018. I'm Jeff Fisher. The High School Football America 2-Minute Drill is brought to you by the Debris Inhibitor Razor. Stop those pesky rubber pellets from field turf from getting into your shoes with a TDI razor that also gives you the great look of spatting without the high cost of tape. Well, we're getting closer and closer. High school football practices getting ready to get underway. Fall camp's going to start opening up next week. The first ones, I should say, Alaska and Hawaii, off of the lower 48, if you will, and you can check out all of the high school football schedules we've put up. We've put up so far 20 statewide schedules by going to highschoolfootballamerica.com. And speaking of countdowns, we're counting down each and every day here on the podcast. We're going to give you some bonus audio from my upcoming high school football book called High School Football in Texas. Amazing football stories from the greatest players of Texas. You can go online to see all the players that we're going to be featuring in the book. Spoke to over 24 of them personally, and then add in their coaches and people associated with the sport and parents and fans. And I think it's a pretty darn good book that you're going to enjoy. And what's really special about it is all of these players. And I'm going to give you some here in alphabetical order. We have 9 Hall of Famers, for example, like Raymond Berry, Earl Campbell, Eric Dickerson, Mean Joe Green, Ken Houston, Bob Lilly, Don Maynard, Mike Singletary, LaDainian Tomlinson. They're all in the book. And what they're talking about is strictly high school football. Every question that I asked them was only about their high school football memories, and that's what we're going to be bringing out in this book that comes out September 4th. It's on pre-order right now, so if you want it to be delivered very, very quickly once it ships on September the 4th, just go online right now, pre-order at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or wherever books are sold, and they will be on bookshelves in stores coming up on September the 4th. And if you go to your bookstore and it's not there, make sure you tell them to order it for you. But it might be just easier to order it online at Amazon and Barnes & Noble and wherever books are sold. Now, bonus audio for today. One of the great high school football communities in the state of Texas. Right now, coming into the 2018 season, the Katy Tigers are ranked number 21 in the High School Football America preseason 100. And today's bonus audio is going to come from a former Tiger, a guy that is currently the quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals in the NFL, Andy Dalton. Had a split time at the QB1 position back when he was a junior, but then he took over the reins of the offense, and as Gary Joseph, his head coach, told me, really did a wonderful job in that senior season, taking the Tigers all the way to the state championship game where they lost to South Lake Carroll. But I had a good chat with Andy. Also, in the chapter where he is featured, I talked to Coach Joseph, and I talked to Andy's mom and dad, and they just really raved about what that football community is like there in Katy. And then when I finally got to Andy after talking to mom and dad, he also indicated that there's nothing like Friday Night Lights in the city of Katy, Texas.
Well, I mean, I think one thing just in high school football in general is you're playing with your friend that you grew up with. You know, I think that's one thing that makes high school football so cool. And, when I think about, my time at Katy, it wasn't just like our high school thing. It was like the whole city of Katy and the whole, community of Katy would shut down. I mean, it's like if you've seen Friday Night Lights, it's that same kind of feel where, the city shuts down and everybody's at the game. And it was one of the things that when we first moved out to Katy, we didn't realize how big of a deal it was. And I think some people asked my parents when we were in elementary school, like, are y'all going to go to the game on Friday? And they're like, no, my kids are in elementary school. Yeah, it's like everybody goes to the game. And so I just think that's one thing that was really cool about Katy is how involved the community is and how big of a deal it is for just the whole city of Katy about Friday nights and the football games, and you're definitely well supported there.
That's current Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Andy Dalton talking about his time at Katy, Texas. The Tigers ranked number 21 coming into the 2018 high school football season in the High School Football America preseason 100. And again, Andy will be featured in the book called High School Football in Texas, Amazing Football Stories from the greatest players in the state of Texas that I wrote and will be coming out September the 4th. Skyhorse Publishing will be bringing it out. It's available on pre-order for you right now. It's really kind of like a history book going back into these stories that really have never been told. So I hope you go out and pre-order it so it gets there right after it starts shipping on September 4th, or go to your local bookstore and pick it up as soon as it hits book shelves on September the 4th. Again, it's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and wherever books are sold. And again, 9 Hall of Famers in all are in the book. We've talked to over 24 players themselves, past and present, like Andy, and Andy was very gracious to take the time and talk about it. And that's the amazing thing about all of the players that I spoke with. They were all very excited. And I'm going to be honest about it. Sometimes when as a reporter you call up and you ask for an interview and you say, oh, it's going to be on this topic and these are the questions I'd like to ask. I think sometimes players may be like, well, what's this reporter really getting at? Well, we kept to the topic, which was high school football, and as we started talking, the memories just bubbled back to them, and they just opened up a whole lot and just had a whole lot of fun writing this book, and I hope you'll enjoy it, reading it as much as I did in writing it. So again, go online to Amazon if you're a Prime member, Barnes & Noble, or wherever books are sold, and get the book, High School Football in Texas, Amazing Football Stories from the Greatest Players in Texas, coming out September the 4th. Well, that's going to do it for today's 2-Minute Drill podcast, brought to you by the Debris Inhibitor Razor, keeping those pesky rubber pellets from field turf out of your shoes. And don't forget, every day we have the 2-Minute Drill podcast, and it's not always 2 minutes, by the way. That's just kind of the title of it. We'll go as long as we need to, giving you some interviews. And starting next week, by the way, we're going to be giving you some of the great interviews that we're doing leading up to the season with the teams in the top 25 in the High School Football America Top 100. High School Football America's podcast, giving you up-to-the-minute daily high school football news that you can listen to on the website or on iTunes, Stitcher, or TuneIn Radio. And don't forget to follow us throughout the day on Twitter at HSFB America for the latest news throughout the day. And you can do the same thing on Instagram and Facebook. Our handle there is highschoolfootballamerica.com. Thanks for listening to the High School Football America 2-Minute Drill. I'm Jeff Fisher.